Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 career mode with Alpha Tauri. Today we're doing episode number 13, almost forgot how many episodes we have there, for the Italian Grand Prix, the last European race. We've only got 3 races to do after this, one in Japan and obviously the USA and Brazilian Grand Prix to round off this first series. Which will be coming at the end of this season, but we are going to go away and purchase a tyre wear upgrade. We were looking at some other upgrades, but we don't want to get Alpha Tauri to get too upgraded because of course we will be leaving the team at the end of the season, although we don't have that option to sign a contract in advance, which is a shame. But yes, just before we get into qualifying though, Carl had a little announcement to make.
Alright, listen up everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful, so let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
So yes, moving to qualifying there, little message from Carl, we're not going to be doing much. In terms of that, it's only, I believe it's only on the engine side and the durability side, which, well, we're about to see this thing is actually now quite fast. It's got quite a lot of engine power. It's quite fast in a straight line, and we're going on to our second lap, obviously at the end of the session, so we're 2 tenths up through the first corner, which is good. So we found some time there that I lost on my first run, which obviously just trying to get the lap in. There puts us in 13th. We'll probably be 13th because I don't think anybody else is going to be crossing the line after us. 3 tenths up now as we've moved into the middle sector through the Lesbos curves. That time is just going to keep on rising and rising now. Good exit out the Lesbos curves gives us some more time off, so that we're going to be aiming for about half a second fast. This is going to put us inside the top 10, hopefully. Almost up to 4 tenths up now through Ascari. Let's go on down to Parabolica. A couple of you can see some AI are crossing the line now. Our teammate is well up inside the top 10 or so. A good lap here. Half a second up now. Up to the line from Parabolica. It's a 1:19.5. Puts us in 8th place. So our teammate's in 4th, 3 tenths faster. So the Red Bull, no pace for Red Bull. Vettel, no pace at all. Leclerc is the one that's taken the fight to the Mercedes, who's 9,000 slower than Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, almost half a second back. Time for the race.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes, and with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Vettel, and Tauri, Ocon, Perez, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Stroll, Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty. Romain Grosjean and Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, Daniel Ricciardo, and Kimi Raikkonen. Norris and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, this is the team's home race. We're all relying on you to impress today.
Especially with our teammate outside the top 10. I mean, well, no, he's got the car, so the pace is there for us this weekend. It hasn't been Hungary comes to mind where we were holding up everybody. As 5 red lights come on, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix, a track that I do very well at and I've done in the previous years. It's a great start. We're ahead of Vettel already. We're going side by side with both of the Red Bulls. We've got a warning for collision with Albon. I don't get that. Verstappen has gone steaming in like there's no tomorrow. We're going to have to squeeze out Albon on the exit and retain P5. A great start there, up from P7. This is what happened there. Hamilton, who was leading, locked up, and then Verstappen went steaming in. Made contact with the clerk and knocked off a bit off his front wing, and is down to P3. Now, his actual fact lost quite a bit of his front wing. We ever so close for Verstappen, but we're going 3 wide now for Ascari. Thank you very much, Verstappen. I mean, he's given us the position. I mean, he got to help out the junior team at some point throughout his career. The boss, Verstappen, surely is going to be. We've gone where are we going? I have no idea there. As we got coming up to the line now, we seem to be. Bottas is dropping off here. Don't know if this is a combination of us using overtake. Maybe Verstappen isn't overtake or rich mix for going through that, but we retain the P3 for now. As we look to the battle behind us now, and Albon, who's the remaining Red Bull in this top 10 battle, is losing positions now. He's got Ocon and the 2 racing points behind him. Excuse me, pink Mercedes. Sebastian Vettel's got past and is now on the back of us. Into lap 2, Bottas has another go at us through into the end of the first sector, but again, not doing anything. As we watch now a battle, more 3 wide moments here. As Giovinazzi comes out on top ahead of Ocon and Albon there, and they slow down to a crawl. So Giovinazzi is having a great race. Apart from that, they do need the points. As Vettel's now going to have a go at Bottas. He's having a look at my inside. There's not going to allow that to happen, but he moves now into 4th place. So things are slotting in place for Ferrari and has a go at us. We have to force him all the way to the right hand side here, because otherwise Bottas is going to be able to squeeze through. In actual fact, Bottas is going to squeeze through. I'm going to have to take to the grass. We're not going to make this corner. We have to go over the sleeping policeman, and that's surely going to disrupt our rhythm, but we do manage to maintain the position of the P3. But it got off the grass, got a bit wobbly under the braking, and that's what cost us there. And we're fortunate that Bottas didn't have the greatest of exits out of that corner, although he's going to come back us on lap 5 now, in the end, again at the end of the first sector. Tyre wear is worse on the rears now. In actual fact, in that little bit of footage, we do lose a bit. We have lost a bit of our front wing, but it's only green, so we're not going to bother. As Bottas now comes back at us through Parabolica, which of course Jeff wanted us in a lap earlier. We're going to have to push Bottas to this right hand side. We don't want a repeat with Vettel now getting the better slipstream as we move back to the racing line to take the corner and this time retain P3. Well, we never lost the place, Jeff. As we move later on to lap number 6, Bottas is going to have a go at us through to Ascari. We're going to... Oh dear, Bottas. Well, he tried his best, but he's lost now a second to us, and this is actually the perfect scenario to actually move. He's blocked Vettel off as well, So Vettel may have lost some front wing there. We'll see in the pit stops. Bottas is of course coming back to us in a Mercedes after all. Mercedes is a lot powerful than this car as we come into the pits at the end of laps number 6 for our one and only stop. And let's see what this is going to be. Medium tyres going on, 2.7 second stop, that's not bad. They're usually about that in F1 2020. This is Sebastian Vettel's stop, and confirming there that he did have front wing damage, either from previous contact with 3 wide moments with Bottas or myself, or more likely where when Bottas blew up in Ascari. But Bottas didn't need a front wing change, unfortunately, and he has done the overcut on us. Vettel's lost out huge heaps of time, so the people behind us now is Ocon and Albon. Albon's starting to come back in this race, but of course he's going to lead on more if he wants to get ahead of like Ocon. Surprisingly, he's got such poor pace in this race. You expect a bit better from the Red Bull driver, especially as the fact that obviously Albon's position in the team is a bit precarious, with myself winning races as there's a yellow flag behind us. Is that Albon out the race as well? It is. So here is Albon. He's coming through Parabolica. Obviously he's getting ready for a pass on Ocon, and then he just slows down. There's no Puma smoke out the back, but that of course brought the safety car out, which we only caught up to the chain as the safety car was coming in. These 3 cars in front of us are very fast. But then behind us, Verstappen and Vettel are at the back of this train, so there is a chance of getting a P4, which is apart from our victory of Austria and the one that didn't happen in Canada, we could be on for our joint second best result of the season, or we could be on for a podium here. We nerfed Bottas out position into Parabolica, so we're on the racing line. Obviously this is a little bit naughty, sneaky, trying to get the overtake. We're going to put it up into rich mix now and get the put in overtake mode. He does lock up going into there. We've got to be careful of Leclerc and Hamilton. They're having a battle through turn 1, and we overtake Bottas and get back into 3rd place. Of course Bottas isn't going to give up. Coming through the end of lap 12, he hasn't got no DRS will be available for the rest of this Grand Prix, but he does take the position nevertheless through Parabolica, giving us a nudge to remind us that he's in a Mercedes and we're in an Alpha Tauri. But we're not going to ignore that. We're going to have the slipstream of that. Ocon as well looking very racy behind us as well, with Giovinazzi, our teammate, hanging in as well at the back end of this, just getting the popcorn out, and we get Bottas back under braking into turn 1. Thank you very much. Bottas really, is he going to have another go through Parabolica? We need to defend this time though, because there won't be any turn 1 to get through, as this is the last corner of the lap. Bottas he's Simon himself move. Is this going to be move up to the line? Just enough in front again. 3rd place. If it wasn't for that safety car, I mean, we've good result there today. Consistent laps, P3. What an ending.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So yes, P3, I'll definitely take that any day of the week at an Alpha Tauri. The pace definitely was, well, compared to the Mercedes and the Ferrari, but We were the third fastest team there today. Chauffeur Gasly obviously had a little bit of traffic earlier on, but he did come through in the latter half to get P7. If he hadn't had that penalty, he could have had a podium. So that's just something to think about there. But yes, more heartbreak for Red Bull, no points for them. We move on to 94 points, and surely nil. That is, well, that's 7 points. We could get Albon in this if we have another good race, but I will take 7th place. I think that's where we're going to have to do. Obviously, there's a big battle behind us with Ricciardo, Ocon, Perez, and maybe even Sainz as well. Although McLaren did not score today, so yes, in the constructors, McLaren now actually down to 8th place. Alfa Romeo back up to 7th. Renault are sort of not really caught up to us. We move onto 106 points. So the pace is there. The car's now there. I've got a couple more power circuits left to come, and that could be a couple more good results.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Well, the power unit was absolutely sublime. I mean, we were faster than the Mercedes with overtake and the engine power alone to overtake
You
him.
went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race.
Well, it wasn't really a good strategy, but we raced hard today, not giving up.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Well, the team is 4th on the performance chart, Claire, so to get a podium isn't too far away.
Did you feel that things went well for you today?
I'm not going to say no, am I? Because we got a podium in an Alpha Tauri, Claire. Back to the ridiculous questions. I mean, it had to happen at some point after 2 races without them.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate for wasting my time with ridiculous questions there. In terms of the rivalry, it's a little bit too late to be starting whipping Alex Albon. He's like 17 to 24. I've got a screenshot of the back, or rather a picture of it on the back. But we have got 2 new upgrades have come in. One from Honda and one that we purchased. It's basically the engine department and the durability department. So the engine is there, so I feel like maybe just work a bit on the sashi and the aero side, maybe going into the Fast 3 race. We're the 3rd fastest team in a straight line. As I say, we might do a couple of rear downforce and maybe a few durability upgrades as well. But we don't want to give them too much power, because obviously I don't know what the status is going to be at Red Bull during this regulation change if Red Bull is the team. Our teammate's now rated 88, so. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see more episodes of the F1 2020 career mode, which will be coming daily until Friday, which will be the final episode of this season. Until the next VR6 time, take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.